Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? The answer might shock you. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gen Z BTC. It's me, Satoshi Guapamoto. And today we're going over a couple of numbers. It looks a little crazy now. Class is in session. Let me break it down for you. Let's start right here. 21 million. What's that? That's the total supply of Bitcoin divided by 8 billion, which is the amount of people on Earth currently. That leaves you with 262,500. This is the amount of Satoshis that every human could have on Earth if all the Bitcoin were distributed evenly. All right. What's a Satoshi? Satoshis are the small pieces of a Bitcoin. When you see the price of Bitcoin, you don't want to think, oh man, I can't afford it. It's $100,000. No, you are paying for pieces of a Bitcoin. You're paying for Satoshis. Right now, $1 gets you about 1,100 Satoshis. Okay? Okay, stay with me now. 262,500 is the total amount that an individual could have throughout their entire lifetime if Bitcoin were distributed evenly, because they're not making any more. So this is all you get. You can't get any more than this. This is someone's life's work. This is the average total sum of everything that they could work for on a Bitcoin standard. You can currently afford the average person's life's work for about $250. Okay? It ain't even $350. It's not even $350 yet. It's $250 to buy 262,500 Satoshis. That automatically gives you the average person's life income, right? Globally, no one can have more than this if it's distributed evenly. Here's the thing. It's not distributed evenly. There are some people who have 1 Bitcoin. There are some people who have 10 Bitcoin. There are some companies that have 10,000. There are some countries that have 200,000. So this is not actually an even distribution. Furthermore, 21 million coins, of that, about 4 million of them have been lost. What do I mean by lost? They had them on a hard drive somewhere. They had them on an old computer somewhere. They forgot about it somewhere. They're gone. You can't get them back because Bitcoin is unhackable. Therefore, those coins are unretrievable. You cannot get them anymore. They're gone. All right. So not only is this number incorrect, but this number is actually getting bigger. Okay. People are always going to continue to expand, even in this crazy world where I'm going to talk about this in another video, but even the declining birth rates, bro, don't worry. There's going to be plenty of people. We're going to keep seeing more and more people, right? There's people who aren't even born yet who will be buying Bitcoin. So all this stuff culminates into the fact that the average person, for sure, should probably have at least 262,500 Satoshis, just in case Bitcoin catches on. And it looks like it's catching on. What about just the United States, all right? In just the United States, if every single person were to have a Bitcoin distributed to them evenly, they would have 6 million Satoshis, 0.06 Satoshis in the United States. That's the average, right? What's the average amount of wealth that someone will have over their entire lifetime in the United States? The average is about 2 million. You'll work for like 40, 50 years just to get about $2 million. The average person, that's what they're making throughout their lifetime. All right. That's what they're earning throughout their lifetime. That is completely insane. You can get a lifetime's worth of work in the United States. That amount of value is captured with just 6 million Satoshis, which you can pay for today for less than $5,000, right? Less than $6,000. You can get this for now. There will come a point where just 0.06 is out of the grasp of most people. The same way most people today cannot afford 1 Bitcoin. All right. Most people in the future, and by the future, I mean probably about 5 years from now. 5 years from now, most people will never be able to afford 0.06. So just let that sink in, and don't let this opportunity pass you by. Okay. What about if you wanted to be in the top 10% of all Bitcoin holders globally? Okay. How do you do that? All you need is about 0.1. That's 10%. All right. 10% of a Bitcoin, 10 million Satoshis, puts you in the top 10% of all holders. Now you have to think about something. If the world is transitioning onto a Bitcoin standard, because we're seeing all the companies buy it, all the asset managers are buying, pension funds are buying it, states are buying it, countries are buying it, individuals are buying it, everyone's buying it. If we move into a Bitcoin standard, having 10 million Satoshis makes you a top 10 percenter. This currently costs about $8,000, right? Cost about $8,000, $9,000 to get 10 million Satoshis. If you have $9,000 today, are you in the top 10% of all earners globally? No, you are not. You're not a top 10 percenter. Not even close. All right. You're not in the top 10 of the United States. You're not top 10% globally. You're just not in the top 10% with $9,000. But with this amount, with 0.1 Bitcoin, you become a top 10 percenter. So you are changing your socioeconomic status, right? By holding a harder asset. The same way, 10 years ago, if you held 50,000 Bitcoins, it really didn't affect where you stood globally in terms of US dollar price, in terms of fiat, right? But if you had $50,000 back then, 50,000 Bitcoins back then, which again, it would have been very cheap. It would have cost about $50,000, right? $50,000 back then to buy 50,000 Bitcoin. Today, you are literally a billionaire. You know what I mean? You are multi-millionaire if you have 50,000 Bitcoins. But back then, that wasn't the case. You only had $50,000. Like, it didn't really matter, dollars wise. But Bitcoin wise, if we take those 50,000 and bring them further into the future, your standing globally changes not only in the fiat world, but also in the Bitcoin world. Where you were at as soon as you bought them in Bitcoin puts you in a huge, insanely top 1% of the 1% position. All right. You need to understand holding Bitcoin is what really changes your standing in society. All right. Because not that many people can get this much. It's just not possible. It's literally impossible. Only 210 million people in the entire planet could ever have 0.1 Bitcoin. You know why? Because there can't be any more than that. There are not more than this. That's it. 210 million people globally. You're in the top 210 people globally, no matter what, forever, no matter how many people come to the planet, no matter how many people are born, you will forever be in that upper echelon because no one can get more than this. You know what I mean? Like, there will come a point where people will be on a mad dash just for a couple of Satoshis, and you can buy thousands of them for $1 today. Absolutely insane, right? It's the same if you go back in time. Again, go back to like 2010, 2011. You could get dozens of Bitcoins for a single dollar. But you might think, oh, well, they're just Bitcoins. No one really cares, bro. It's not worth anything. Okay. You can get thousands of Satoshis today for just $1. Oh, they're just Satoshis, bro. I mean, it's just a little piece of a Bitcoin. It's just 0.0001. I don't care, bro. Okay. I'll see you in 10 years. Less than 3% of the world currently is on a Bitcoin standard. They're utilizing and owning and holding Bitcoin, all right? That's still millions of people. But what you need to understand that there was a point in history, there was a point in time in the world where only 3% of the world was using a smartphone, okay? Only 3% of the world was using the internet. Look at where that went. Look at where we are now. What do you see happening right in front of you? This is an opportunity. You want to front run the other 97%. All right. By the way, 0.1% of a Bitcoin, right? 0.10% of a Bitcoin gets you in the top 10% globally. How much do you need to be in the top 10% in the United States when it comes to holding Bitcoin? You need $1.2 million to be in the top 10% in the United States. All right. And most people don't have that. So if you want to be in the top 10% of the US, again, all you need is this. You only need 6 million sats. This is globally. 10 million sats globally puts you as a global leader. So to answer the question, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Sorry for the people who don't like the sound of the eraser. I really don't think it's that bad. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? The answer is no. Let me show you with a diagram. Okay, here we have this diagram. This is just the price of Bitcoin over time. All right. The people who bought here are jealous of the people who bought back here where I can't even draw. Then there's people who come later. They buy here, They're jealous of the people who bought here. Then there's people who bought here. They are happy that they didn't buy here, right? But they're still jealous of the people who bought here because that was even lower. Then there's people who buy here who are jealous of all these people. Then there's people who buy here who are jealous of these people back here. Then there's people right here who are jealous of these people. Then there's people right here who are jealous of these people. Then there's people right here who are happy, but they're still jealous of these people. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. Do you understand that there was a point where this chart, here's the price, by the way. Look at the chart. The price is 500. The price is 500. This is $500. That's the price. Then we zoom out, we go into the future, and now it's 5,000. And guess what? All these people are jealous of all the people who bought at 500. Then we go even further into the future. We see all the people who bought at 50,000 are jealous of all the people who bought at 5,000. And pretty soon, we're going to see all the people who bought at 500,000 are going to be really jealous of people like you watching right now who can buy it at 88. Come on, bro. Lock in. Like, I'm giving you the keys. I'm giving you the keys. You just need to be willing to enter the kingdom, bro. This is insane. Like, at the end of the day, you're not late to Bitcoin. Okay, I'm taking this from Jack Mallers. He's the one who said this. But like, it's your ego telling you that you're too late. Like, too late based on what? Like, Bitcoin's not keeping track. It's not taking time. It's not taking attendance. Like, oh, you were too late. You came 15 years after I was launched. Like, no, you're too late compared to the other people who are buying. You're comparing yourself to other people, right? Also, you're putting your mind frame to be like, oh, well, it's too late to do a 1000x or a 100x. I can't 100x my money and I can't escape my financial situation. So it's too late for me to buy. Bro, did you not just see what I just did? Oh, but it can't keep going. It can't keep going. Okay, so it can go from $1 to $10 to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000, but it just stops right there. Like it's not going to go to 1,000,000. It's not going to go to 10. I mean, really, like ask yourself, going from $1 to 100,000 literally takes more work than going from 100,000 to 10 million. Like it actually does. The multiple is smaller. Like, do you understand? Okay. There are only 21 million Bitcoin. Everything else in the world has to fit inside of that 21 million. All of the capital, all of the economic energy, all of the value on Earth, basically, has to fit inside 21 million. You are buying real estate in cyberspace. All right? You have to think about this. Back in 1776, was it too late to buy real estate in Manhattan? What about 1876? That's 100 years later. Was it too late to buy real estate? No? Okay, what about 1976? Was it too late to buy real estate? To buy some land in Manhattan and then build a skyscraper? No, not really. It was probably a good time. Pretty good time to do it. What about today? What about today? If you could get some land in Manhattan, is that a good idea? Does it make sense? Do you think people are going to go to Manhattan in the future? Do you think people are going to go to Las Vegas in the future? Do you think people are going to go to Houston in the future? Like, yes? Okay, then it's probably a good idea to get some real estate there. It's probably a good idea to buy some property, buy my little square out there, right? This is digital Manhattan. This is digital cyberspace. You're buying a piece of land in cyberspace every time you buy a piece of Bitcoin because they're not making any more, right? Unlike cities where cities can expand and they grow and they get bigger, they're not making any more of this. That's it. It's over. So you might want to just buy a block in cyberspace. You might not be able to get the whole building. All right. Maybe just buy a floor. Buy a floor out in cyber Manhattan. Kind of makes sense considering that people are always going to want to go there. All right. So that's my video for today, guys. I hope you learned something. You're not too late to Bitcoin. You are only too late if you decide that you're just never going to buy any. Then yeah, eventually you will end up being too late. All right, because the world's going to switch to a Bitcoin standard and you're not going to have any. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what's going to happen to you. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen to you because you're not going to have any. And maybe the government might give you like 10,000 Satoshis or something like that. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen to you if you have zero. So it might make sense just to get some, just in case it catches on, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Gen Z BTC. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right. And if you're thinking about where can I buy Bitcoin, check out the links in my description. You can buy it on Strike. You can buy it on Swan. I am not sponsored yet. But those are the places that I use. They are probably the safest places to be buying Bitcoin, and I 100% back them. I'll do a tutorial and a little run through of those apps in the future. But stack sats or die trying. I'll see you on the next one.